Hi, my name is Gerhard Gschwandtner. Welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Chris Bennett, and we will talk about how to document training ROI. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Gerhard. Welcome. Nice to be with you.
So tell us, when you do a training, you make ROI measurement mandatory. Why did you come up with that?
The client needs to know that whatever they're investing in is actually moving whatever key metric they want to move. And they also have to know they're getting a return on capital. So it just seemed from the very beginning that if I was going to provide a training service that was going to have some impact on the business, that we ought to track it, and I ought to be able to provide some sort of a documentation around it.
So walk us through what do you do for your clients? And by the way, you intrigued me. What is the average ROI that you're getting?
Oh my gosh, the average ROI, it's enormous. It's let's just say that it's well over 1,000%. It's very often over 5,000%. I've had some as high as 30,000%, 50,000%. Here's an organization called CDW, which is all over North America. And they improved their year-over-year sales by 32% in only 5 months. That was for this one office, that's a $41 million increase in sales. I charged them $15,000 to train one class and do follow-up. So they got 35,000% ROI, and there's the reference letter on the screen to prove it. This is an interesting one. This is Royal Bank of Canada, the biggest bank in Canada. We trained 23 of their branches the art of the discovery meeting, and they doubled their business volume in 90 days.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So walk us through the numbers.
The key to being successful, I've found, in tracking training ROI is taking responsibility for the follow-up. If you don't follow up, how are you going to have the stats to base your calculations on? So I take responsibility for the follow-up, and not only do I collect stories on pipeline and new sales, but I also loop in their CRM managers, their sales managers, anybody I can to give me numbers. And from those numbers, we make the calculation. So some of the metrics that can be included, of course, are pipeline. That's one of the primary reasons people hire me. It's, Chris, our pipeline is weak. We're not trending to make plan. And before you can make sales, you got to have qualified opportunities in the pipeline. So let's get her going and build that pipeline. So
you make an agreement with the client first. You say, this is what we're going to measure before we do the training.
Exactly. So during my discovery process with the client, I'm asking them, what are the key metrics that you need to move up or move down? What have they historically been? What are your trend lines today? And what would constitute outstanding? So then my goal is to take the content, relate it to them in a meaningful way to get those outcomes to create outstanding. Let's say, for example, I'm training a class of 20 people. It could be, 10 classes of 20. It could be 100 classes of 20 for 200 or 2,000 people. It's the same formula. So let's say before the class, the pipeline value is $20 million. And then 60 days after the training, the pipeline value is now $30 million. So even if I'm not there, they're going to grow some pipeline. So we have to be accurate, strip that out. So now we're ending up with $8 million of net new pipeline. So if they have a historic closing rate of 50%, that's $4 million in expected new sales. So $4 million times a 40% gross profit margin, in this case, is $1.6 million divided by the $20,000 to train the class. There's your $8,000 ROI.
How much work is involved in getting the numbers from the company? How easy is it to get that?
In some organizations, as you know from your experience, some of them are really on top of their CRMs, their reporting. They've got dedicated sales operations people tracking those numbers. And basically, whatever number I ask for, I can get within 24 hours. Other companies, they don't track as well. So there's more responsibility on me to work directly with sales managers, sales VP, sales operations, plus the follow-up. And it takes a long time to collect the numbers. Then I have to validate that these sales are actually being attributed to things they did in the training. And then we have to do the math from there. So
what are the topics that you teach people?
The outcome that they want to achieve is massive increase in top line revenues, and they want to protect their margins. They want to shorten their sales cycles and lower the cost of sales. So that's what they want to achieve. So based on what they want to achieve, through my discovery process, I find out whether it is where the challenges lie. Some of them, their pipeline is weak. So what I'll be teaching them is basically the art of mastering the discovery meeting. This is a very interesting fact that sadly a lot of people don't know. There's 5 different types of questions that sales pros should be asking in their discovery meetings, and only one of those 5 directly builds pipeline. But sadly, most sales pros don't know which one it is. So if the outcome that I'm being tasked to achieve is pipeline growth, then I would teach them how to have that discovery conversation to build pipeline. Conversely, the outcome might be, Chris, we've got a great pipeline. We can't push anything through. We can't get it to close. So then I teach them skills on how to create urgency, build a business case, how to offset competitive threats so they can move deals through the pipeline faster. So the things I teach would include everything from how to grow your confidence, how to build pipeline, how to move deals through the pipeline faster, and then the basics, blocking and tackling, objections, negotiating skills, and closing skills.
So Chris, where can find people your website? Do you have a slide with where we can see it?
If anyone wanted to talk to me about tracking training ROI, there's my phone number and there's my website, and be happy to review with anyone who's interested.